Hey everyone, Carnivore Marc here. Wanted to have you join me on my walk this morning to the bus stop that was going to get me here to church. Hey, I'm at church. Hey. All right, so, I recorded this whole video. I poured my heart out. I shared a lot of things, and the audio was really, really bad when I played it back. So I just want to make sure that there wasn't anything that was going to be distracting when it came to you getting to know me and, what happened in my journey. So not only that, but I want to share some things that I've learned that bothered me yesterday, especially when it came to working with my doctor. So that was very interesting. I have been seeing this doctor in over a year since I started the carnivore journey, predominantly because last year she had a real problem when it came to my LDL levels. Now, that's when I was experimenting with keto. So if you haven't done the research yet, LDL is not necessarily the bad guy. Your body needs LDL. Yeah, LDL and HDL work hand in hand. They are transport vehicles for the nutrients and and the fats that run through your body and through your system. So you got to get to understand those a little bit better. Sadly, most doctors are not very well informed as to the proper functions of LDL. Matter of fact, LDL has a lot of benefits. One of the major benefits that I found, especially recently with this, weather, it's 42 degrees out right now. It's going to be 70, a little over 70 later on today. And, this weather back and forth wreaks havoc on our immune systems. I see a lot of people who are sick right now. My whole family got sick last week, and I'm surrounded by them, 2-bedroom condo. So I'm just in this space all the time, and I haven't gotten sick. Last year, I probably would have gotten sick 3 or 4 times in this short span of time. So, boost the immune system by helping to break down viruses and bacteria at the protein level, and winds up kind of reshuttling them around, recycling them, back to where they should go. So, but that's not why I went to the doctor. I went to the doctor because, you should get a checkup every now and then. I don't want to completely ignore what could potentially be happening in my body, especially since this is something that is different. Carnivore diet, it's not something that I've done my entire life. I've always eaten meat, but always in conjunction with, say, the vegetables and the mashed potatoes and the burger buns and the French fries and the milkshakes and the ice creams and the pies and all those sorts of things. And, it turns out that all these years, the indoctrination was so strong that I was convinced that my health problems, well, like many of us have been, that the health problems were developing because maybe I was eating a bunch of meat. When really, I wasn't taking into account all the rest of the junk and the rest of the garbage that I was eating in the meantime. So when it comes to the cholesterol studies, we find that those cholesterol studies and things that everything is based on, you just jump on Google, type in cholesterol, and then you'll see a million different ways to lower your cholesterol. Matter of fact, there was a recent experiment done by Feldman, who, he did an experiment where he said, let me see if I can lower my cholesterol with a simple approach, Oreo cookies. So if you do a YouTube search on Oreo cookies and cholesterol, you're going to find, guess what? That worked. By him eating Oreo cookies, he was able to lower his cholesterol. Does that mean it's healthy? Absolutely not. So we want to try to break the paradigm, break that mental connection that we have, that cholesterol bad, because it's simply not true. Every single cell in your body is made up partially, if not mostly, by cholesterol. including our brains, the myelin sheath in the brain, for example. If you're not giving your brain cholesterol, then it's going to wear out. It's going to wear down. You're not giving it what it needs to continue to rebuild and to survive long term. So anyway, I'm not a doctor. I'm not trying to give you nutritional advice. I'm just going and letting you know the things that I've learned from folks like Dr. Berry, Dr. Baker, Dr. Chaffee, Dr. Vadia, and others, who are in the carnivore and functional space. I know there are doctors I'm leaving out, so sorry. I'm still, getting to memorize everyone's names, even though I've seen their YouTube videos and their research like millions of times and read through and everything. But that said, let me tell you a little bit about yesterday. Okay, yesterday I went to the doctor. I went there to get a checkup, and I wanted to get blood work done because I want to know what's happening in my body. So before I went, I prepared. Okay, number one, I prepared myself, mentally, just in case I was going to have another fallout with the doctor, because she panicked when I was on keto and my LDL went up a little, and she wanted me to take statins and all that. I refused because I found out what statins actually do. I found out that not only does it lower cholesterol, but it also affects mental capacity, because basically it's starving your brain of the necessary building products that it needs. By the way, side note, there was a study that was done on senior citizens, I believe in one of these rehabilitation kind of places, and they found that all the patients on statins, okay, they were dealing with what they were dealing with. When they removed the patients from statins, they found that their cognitive abilities improved. And then when they put them back on the statins, their cognitive abilities declined again. So that tells you that something's going on, and that's not something that I want to have going on in my brain. So I didn't take statins, no. Instead, over time, I learned about the carnivore diet, and I started to jump in full force. I feel like my cognitive abilities are far greater than they've ever been before. I'm not the smartest guy in the world. I'm not trying to say that. I'm just saying that I was suffering with a lot of brain fog. I was suffering with a lot of inability to really think straight. Not only just the pain that I was dealing with my spinal damage, my permanent irreversible spinal damage, my permanent irreversible nerve damage, which now I'm walking around and I'm exercising all the time and doing a bunch of push-ups and things like that. So it's not permanent. But everyone else sees it as permanent because this is not something that you recover from, there are lots of things, by the way, in the carnivore space. If you just look around, look at the various testimonials. Oh, I landed on this website called carnivore.diet. So carnivore.diet, you hit enter, you go into the space, you look up, it's not called testimonials, it's called something else. I forgot what it's called. But if you click in the menu, you're going to see whatever that is. I forgot what it's called. But it'll give you a search bar. So you can look up just about any condition that's out there, and you're going to see people's results from those conditions. And these are getting reversed on what? On the carnivore diet. It is absolutely mind-boggling to consider that so many conditions that are considered lifelong, irreversible, progressive, and all these kind of things get completely reversed on this diet, completely. And you say, oh, that's N equals 1, that's anecdotal. Well, how many, what number of testimonials do you need to get to before it's no longer anecdotal? 100, 1,000, 10,000? I mean, this is not just happening to one person here, one person there. This is happening to virtually every single person who tries out carnivore in a substantial way. That said, carnivore doesn't work if you just try it for 2 days and then you get off of it again. That's not how this works. It's not a diet. It's a lifestyle change. So you're not just changing your habits for a few days or even a week or even 2 weeks. In order to see real results, give it a month, give it 30 days. that's what I did. I did a 30-day challenge. I said, all right, I'm going to push through, force myself to not, eat anything but, meat, drink water, have electrolytes and things like that. But I'm not going to do, anything except for that for 30 days. And let's see what happens. Well, once my body became fat adapted after a couple of weeks, I started seeing, I did start seeing some positive results to my energy levels, my sleep patterns, my cognitive abilities. That happened within the first few days. But I saw even more healing begin to happen after the first couple of weeks. And then I started dropping weight because I was about 60 pounds overweight. That came down in in less than a year. That came down in like 7 months. But anyway, I'm getting off on a rant here. So many benefits. We could talk about this all day long. I want to talk about yesterday's appointment. So while I was at the doctor, and she was upset that I was not taking my statins, they checked my vitals. My vitals look absolutely amazing, except there was one thing that really bothered me. She noticed that my blood pressure was, I think it was 100 over 70, right? So that's right in line with good health. I think on the low side, it's something like 90 over 50 to 120 over 30. I'm sorry, over 90, something like that. But anyway, I was 100 over 70. And the nurse asked me this question. She asked me, "Oh, is your blood pressure normally this high?" Like, what are you talking about? Is my blood pressure normally this high? My blood pressure isn't high. Matter of fact, it's right in like perfect normalcy. If anything, maybe it's going a little bit towards the low side. Shouldn't you ask me if my blood pressure is always this low? The rest of my vitals looked absolutely great. So that was concerning. So the combination of that and she was asking me about all the various medications that I was on. So I was taking 7 medications 3 times a day. So they had the whole list. We went through them one by one. Are you taking this? Are you still taking this? I said, no. Are you still taking that? No. Are you still taking the other thing? No. Went through all 7 medications. I'm not taking any of those medications anymore. That all happened. I dropped them all this past year. Just being on the carnivore diet just healed me from all that stuff. So she was very shocked, very surprised. Had to leave the room for a little bit and then come back. I said, okay, you look like you're healthy, but I just want to make sure that you are. So let's get your blood tested, and we're going to revisit this conversation in a couple weeks. So she's very worried, very worried. I'm sure she's worried about my potential cholesterol because I told her I wasn't taking the statins. But, it really starts to get you thinking, like, why, number one, are you pushing a concern where there is no concern? Now, okay, I understand. With the mentality of thinking that cholesterol is, the problem, when it's actually not, that's been actually debunked and disproven. Thinking that the cholesterol is a problem and thinking that statins are the solution, and that's what's drilled into them throughout medical school. I understand where she's coming from. There's a concern for her there. But what about when the nurse was asking me if my blood pressure was always that high? That's a problem, because that means that if she was able to convince me that my blood pressure was high, they could have sold me on blood pressure lowering medication, maybe brought it down another 10 points or something, and made the pharmaceutical company, Big Pharma, more money. I mean, that's, doctors' offices and things like that, they get a kickback, from what I understand. Now, I've never seen the billing practices, but from what I understand, there's some kind of kickback for prescription of medication. Not only that, but it goes deeper than that, because even if they are extremely well-meaning, and this is what they truly believe, it's a matter of what they're taught. I mean, who sponsors medical schools? Big Pharma, right? Where you just follow the money. Why? How are they still in business? How are they able to, keep churning out more and more doctors? Is because of where the funding's coming from, and the funding's coming from institutions that are teaching them how to prescribe, how to manage symptoms, but not how to heal. And this is something that you see over and over in the carnivore community is healing. But you see, the problem is they're not going to push it. Big Pharma's not going to push it. Big Food isn't going to push it because there's no money in healing. I mean, what if everybody decided, hey, this is actually healing us, this is the right thing to do, and everybody went meat only? If everybody went meat only, trillions of dollars would be lost across the world because all these big, companies that are basically poisoning us with sugars and carbs are going to go out of business. They go out of business because nobody's buying anything, and they're going to have to become cattle ranchers, I guess, if they want to, keep things going, and get into regenerative farming. That would be nice. But anyway, so I had the full blood work done. I made sure that we didn't just go for the simple, the basic lipid panel, because there's more to the story in your blood than just the lipid panel. So I downloaded the cheat sheet from Mike Mutzel. I hope I'm not mispronouncing his name. High Intensity Health. He has a lab work cheat sheet. And I also downloaded Dr. Berry's ebook, Common Sense Labs. So that is an awesome ebook. It's a lot to go through. But he makes it really, really easy. Breaks it down really, really well. If I get a chance later on, I'll put a link down below to both of these, because I basically put them together. A lot of them are shared when it comes to the blood tests that they recommend. And the doctor went ahead and ordered all of them except for 3 of them. So I went to then Own Your Own Labs, Own Your Own Labs, I think it is .com, and I ordered the other ones, with the exception of one. That's the DHEAS, because that measures estrogen and that kind of thing, and it's not really something that my male physiology I really need to check on at the moment. So that said, let's see what happens. I meet up with her in 2 weeks. Oh, and before I forget, so today's a really exciting day for me because I get to meet one of my favorite YouTubers. This is Dave over at No Carb Life. And, we're going to spend some time chatting. We're going to get it on video. And, once we, goes ahead and puts it up there, I'll go ahead and share that with you guys. So we're going to go ahead and talk about the journey, things that I've learned, things I've discovered, and things that have helped me. And hopefully it helps you too. So if you made it to the end of this video and you are interested in learning more about carnivore, don't just follow me. Yes, please like, subscribe, comment below, do the things that typically help, channel, especially a small channel like mine. But go check out, these people. You're going to find a lot of naysayers, but usually the naysayers are more in the academic field. They are operating on lots of assumptions. They're operating on epidemiological studies, which are easily debunked. They're ignoring the current studies on these ideas, and they haven't tried carnivore for themselves. Or if they have, I've seen a lot of folks who have said, oh, I tried the carnivore for 2 weeks. I've tried carnivore for a week. I tried 3 weeks. I had to give it up. You got to push through. If you're going to do this, you're going to do this. So if you're going to do this, I recommend this. Number 1, 30-day challenge. Yes. But number 2, which probably should be number 1, find your reason why. Dig deep and say, if I'm going carnivore, why am I doing it? Now, it should be just, hey, sugar is garbage. Carbs are garbage. There's no such thing as a necessary carb. Every single vitamin and mineral that you could find in vegetables are in meats, especially the ruminant meats. Everything is there and more. And there are nutrients that are in meat that you cannot find in any vegetables. So you don't need vegetables. If you're on this diet, if you're on this way of eating, you don't need a single vegetable. I haven't had a vegetable in a year. People have been sick all around me for the last couple of weeks. Actually, longer than that, like the last couple of months, really. And it hasn't hit me at all. I'm doing just fine. So anyway, do a 30-day challenge. Find your reason why you want to do this. If you want to heal, if you want to lose weight, if you want to do these things, make sure you have goals in mind, because there are times, it's not in the beginning, it's not always easy. After you're doing this for like a month or two, then it's a piece of cake, and like you're not even tempted. You go by the bakery, it's like, oh, I mean, I just walked into the grocery store yesterday, and I was walking through the bakery, and I realized, oh yeah, that smells nice. I kind of remember that, but I wasn't like I was before. Oh, I got to have that donut. I got to have that piece of pie. I got to have this. I got to have the cake. It wasn't a need. There were no cravings. There were no. The food addiction is gone. So give it about 30 days to really see results from the carnivore diet. Say about a month and a half, about 6 weeks, and your cravings disappear. At least that's the way it is with most people that I've seen in the space. Anyway, this video is long enough. I look forward to, and I can't wait for that interview with No Carb Life a little bit later on today. Definitely hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, that you're blessed. And yeah, God bless. See you next time.